Now the key thing to remember is that HTML and CSS is checked using a process called validation. You hand your files over to the validator and it checks it against a standard. JavaScript is tested differently. We can check the syntax with something called a lint checker, and we can try it out and test it using other techniques. But we don't use validation. Now it's kind of confusing because if you put JavaScript in the HTML page using the script tag, then the JavaScript is actually in the HTML and the validator can get confused. So you have to use some technique to tell the validator to ignore the JavaScript. You would think that the validator would be smart enough that it would ignore everything inside a script container all by itself, but it's not. So there's a technique that you can read about in the class materials that uses a CData block that basically tells the validator, and older browsers as a matter of fact, to ignore what's ever inside the block. That's one way to avoid checking your JavaScript with the validator and getting the validator upset so that it throws errors because it's trying to think of the JavaScript as HTML. The other way to solve the problem is to just put the JavaScript in a separate file and to link to that file using the script tag. Look up the script tag on W3 Schools and you'll see the two methods outlined there. The requirement in this assignment is that your HTML file validates correctly, but you don't have to worry about the JavaScript validating. Okay?